So you've unboxed your P51 or P101 Plasma Cutter and you've plugged everything in and got the machine powered on. In this video, we're going to show you how you set up the machine to have you cutting material in no time. We'll first begin with the air pressure. To ensure your machine is cutting perfectly, we need to make sure that this is set up correctly. As all the machines are tested before we send them out, there's a very good chance that it's set up already. However, should you need to change anything, we'll show you how you do that now. Take a look at the front of the machine. On the left hand side you should see the cutting pressure. This needs to be set to 70 psi. To change this, we firstly need to press the R-Tech button. You should now hear air coming through the end of your torch. To adjust the PSI, we locate the air pressure regulator found on the back of the machine. We first unlock this by pulling the dial upwards. And if we want to increase our pressure, we turn the dial clockwise, and if we want to decrease the pressure, we turn it anti-clockwise. Now that your PSI is set up correctly, take your earth lead and attach this to the material you want to cut. On the front of the machine in the lower section, you will see the different machine operations. On the left hand side we begin with 2T, and what this means is that when you press and hold the trigger, the machine will keep cutting until you release the trigger. And underneath that we have 4T, and this means that when you press and release the trigger, the machine will keep cutting until you press and release the trigger again. And finally we have CNC mode for when you're using these machines on a CNC table. On the right hand side we begin with tip saver, and what this means is that when you come to the end of your workpiece, the arc will stop and not restart. Next up we have autopilot. And what this means is that providing your finger is pressed down on the trigger, the arc will stop and then restart automatically, making it perfect for cutting any mesh material. And finally, we have the gouge setting, which is perfect for removing any old welds or preparing thick material for new welds. Setting the machine up couldn't be simpler. Press the arrow on the left to cycle through your torch modes and press the arrow on the right to cycle through your cutting modes. Now that you have the machine operation set up, it's worth looking at the amps. Take a look at the front of the machine and you should see a dial labelled amps. Now these can be adjusted in 1 amp increments. It can be very tempting to crank the machine to its max and cut anything and everything. However, we do suggest getting some scrap material and really fine tuning this. Now the P51 and P101 torches come with double pointed spacers fitted to the end of them. Not only do these expand the life of your cutting tip, but it also makes them perfect for using straight edges and templates. Now the speed in which you move your torch will vary depending on the thickness of the material, so we do recommend making some test cuts first. We mentioned earlier that the machine has a gouging function, and to use this we have to swap out a couple of the consumables found on the end of the torch. Now with the machine switched off, remove the retaining nozzle and swap out the cutting tip for a gouging tip. We then secure this in place by using a gouging retaining nozzle, and then finally screw on a gouging shield cap to the end of this. It's important to note that when you're gouging, extremely hot dross will blow out of the end of the material, so you need to ensure that you're in a safe area where nothing will get damaged and nobody will get injured. And that wraps up everything you need to know to get these machines cutting effectively. Now if you have any questions on these machines or any of the machines in the R-Tech range, feel free to give us a call or drop us an email. We do have a trade counter which you're welcome to pop into, and we do offer demos on all of the machines in the R-Tech range. More details of this can be found over on our website.